Welcome to virtual story time, not quite live. Well, it's been quite a week, and how excited are we that we made it through to Saturday? And Saturday we do our themed story times, and this Saturday we are talking about a very fun craft because in a few days, you know what's about to happen. The groundhog's coming out, and he's going to tell us, is there more winter, or will we get spring sooner? Well, we'll just have to wait and find out. But in the meantime, while we're waiting, how about we read some stories? And so hopefully this week you guys had a chance to come in and get this craft. So why don't we start with our welcome song? And if you didn't have a chance to get the crafts, you can come by and see if it's still available. I know sometimes there are crafts left over, but we've been consistently people have been coming in. You guys have been great picking up crafts and just totally getting into the wonderful crafting spirit. So sorry to those of you who may not get it, but I'm really hoping that you will. And on that note, we clap and say hello. We clap and say hello. With our friends, it's story time. We clap and say hello. We stomp and sing hello. We stomp and sing hello. With our friends, it's story time. We stomp and sing hello. We wave and sing hello. Hello. We wave and sing hello. Hello. With our friends, it's story time. We wave and sing hello. Hello. How is everyone doing? I hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday. And so I don't keep you for the rest of your Saturday. Let me show you the books that we're reading today. First up, we have Brownie Groundhog and the February Fox by Susan Blackaby, illustrated by Carmen Sequoia. Groundhog's Day Off. Whew, I didn't know groundhogs got a day off. This book is by Rob Perlman, illustrated by Brett Hellquist, who coincidentally has also, well, not coincidentally, but he has also, he has also illustrated the series of unfortunate events for those of you who like that series. And Grumpy Groundhog. This book is by Maureen Wright, illustrated by Amanda Haley, and finally, who will see their shadows this year? This book is by Jerry Pallotta and David Biderzicki. All right. So now that we've had fun going through some of these books that we're going to read today, let's start with our first song. And what I have for you guys today is a fun group of songs all about groundhogs. So let's start with one. Let's do Groundhog Day. And it's to the tune of Where is Thumbkin? Okay, so we're going to be using our hands, and we put them behind our backs, and here we go. Where is Groundhog? Where is Groundhog? Here I am. Here I am. Shadows. Shadows on the sunny day, frightened groundhogs all the way. Winter will stay, winter will stay. Where is Groundhog? Where is Groundhog? Here I am, here I am. Oh my, a cloudy day. I will stay outside and play. Spring is near, spring is near. Yay! That was fun. Okay, so now without further ado, let's get into our stories. And every time Miss Magda does this, she gets everything but the glasses. Here we go. My sun stashes, and Elmo's one of my favorites. And you know who also is a favorite of mine? Brownie Groundhog. How about we see what adventure she gets into in this book, Brownie Groundhog and the February Fox. This book is by Susan Blackaby, illustrated by Carmen Sequoia. This book is published by Sterling Books in New York and London. On the second day of February, A groundhog named Brownie woke up. She shimmied up the passageway of her cozy den and shoved aside the fluff of snow blocking her door. The air smelled sweet and cold. When she stood up, her shadow stretched across the frosted field. Oh, I was afraid of that, said Brownie. Shadows mean more winter, and more winter means waiting. Wait, wait, wait. Brownie stomped her foot. Phooey! A small, scrawny fox heard Brownie grousing. His ears twitched. He licked his chops and crouched to pounce. Okay, so this fox is trying to eat the groundhog. Let's see how that works out for him. Before Brownie could take 2 steps, the fox knocked her flat. Brownie's basket went flying as they tumbled into a snowbank. The fox panted and puffed. Hold still, he said. I'm trying to eat you for breakfast. Well, I don't know. If someone came up to me and said they were trying to eat me for breakfast, I wouldn't stand still. Don't be silly, said Brownie, wriggling free. You're too late for breakfast. Really? The fox frowned. Well, what about lunch? Too early, said Brownie. You'll just have to wait. I hate waiting, said the fox. I know what you mean, sighed Brownie. The struggle is real. Brownie picked up her basket and crunched across the clearing, leaving tracks in the snow. The fox scampered along beside her. I don't suppose you've noticed any signs of spring, said Brownie. The fox's tummy grumbled. You, he said. Besides me, said Brownie. Then no, said the fox. Brownie listened for the tweets and twitters, but couldn't hear any. She looked for shoots and sprigs, but couldn't see any. Fiddle, said Brownie. Not a single smidge of spring. And they're really looking forward to spring, huh? When they came to the pond, Brownie stopped to listen. Not a clink or a crackle, she said. This ice is frozen solid. Brownie sat down under a tree and scowled. Drat, she grumped. 6 weeks to wait and nothing to do. Lunch, suggested the fox. His little claws looked sharp. Brownie scooted out of reach. You can't eat yet, she said. You haven't worked up an appetite. I feel appetitey, said the fox. Well, you aren't, said Brownie. Why don't you clear the snow off the pond? That might do the trick. All right. So, yeah, it might be a good idea for Fox to work up an appetite. So when he gets Brownie the groundhog, he'll be very satisfied. The fox stepped onto the pond. He swept his tail back and forth, sending up a snowing spray until the ice gleamed like green glass. Magnificent, Brownie clapped. Look at what you've done. I've worked up an appetite, said the fox. He smiled, showing his pointy teeth. You've made a place to skate, said Brownie. She wrapped her scarf around her neck. Come on, she said. Nothing works up an appetite like skating. That is true as well. Brownie's making some very great points. The fox grabbed Brownie by the tail as she slid onto the pond. They glided across the ice. They twirled and they swirled. They looped and they swooped. They skated figure eights until their knees buckled. Sounds like they had a grand old time. Gasping and giggling, they helped each other struggle up the bank. That was so much fun, said Brownie. It was, said the fox. And my appetite is all worked up. Ha ha, get ready to be eaten. Brownie bristled. No wonder, she said. You skated all right past lunch. Now you'll have to wait until dinner. No, moaned the fox. He hung his head. Even his tail sagged. I want to eat you now. No more waiting. Oh, I know just how you feel, said Brownie. Well, so he didn't get to eat Brownie for breakfast. He didn't get to eat Brownie for lunch. Brownie steered the limp little fox over to a tree. She helped him sit down and tucked his fluffy tail around his feet. Then he wound her scarf around and around the fox's skinny middle, tying him to the trunk. The fox tried to raise his paws. The scarf pulled tight. Stuck, he said, wriggling his shoulders. You guys see that? Bunny's very smart. Sorry, oh. Brownie grabbed her basket. Goodbye, she said. The fox stared up at her. You're leaving me? The fox threw his head back and howled. Brownie took 3 steps quickly up the path, glad to be on her way. Sobbed the fox. Brownie took 3 more steps, quite slowly, feeling bad. Whimpered the fox. Brownie stopped and turned around. Oh, for Pete's sake, she said. Stop crying. If you promise to keep your teeth to yourself, I'll make us a snack. The fox sniffled. I promise, he said. What are we having? Oh. See, Fox made a new friend, and he was trying to eat that friend, but the friend said no. Brownie sat down and pulled a thermos out of her basket. Cocoa, she said. Perfect for dunking cinnamon toast. Will I like it? Asked the fox. You'll love it, said Brownie. Open up and remember, no snapping. Brownie dropped a tasty sip of silky toast into the fox's mouth and then took one for herself. While they traded bites, slurping and gulping, a robin stopped to peck at their crumbs scattered in the snow. She teased a piece of yarn from Brownie's scarf and then fluttered up to the tree. Look, said Brownie, our first sign of spring. Besides you, said the fox. When it was time to go, Brownie helped the fox to his feet. What are we doing tomorrow? He asked. More waiting, said Brownie. Waiting and skating, said the fox. Will you bring something yummy? Something yummy to share, said Brownie. And they headed for home. Now that was a really fun story. Brownie Groundhog and February Fox found some unlikely friendships in this book. And I hope that they continue to be friends. Well, next up, let's sing our next song. What we have is let's do a song called Shadow Song, and it's to the tune of Skip, Skip, Skip to My Lou. So clap your hands just like me, clap your hands just like me, clap your hands just like me, little shadow just like me. And this is just about our shadows, right? March in place, just like me, march in place, just like me, march in place, just like me, little shadow, just like me. Hands on your hips, just like me, hands on your hips, just like me, hands on your hips, just like me, little shadow, just like me. Jump up and down, just like me, jump up and down, just like me, jump up and down, just like me, little shadow, just like me. Reach to the sky, just like me, reach to the sky, just like me, reach to the sky, just like me, little shadow, just like me. Flap your, no, sorry, twirl round and round, just like me, twirl round and round, just like me, twirl round and round, just like me, little shadow, just like me. And finally, we're gonna flap your arms just like me. Flap your arms just like me. Flap your arms just like me. Little shadow just like me. Yay! Great job. And that's a shadow song. So, as as we know, Groundhog Day is coming up, and Groundhog Day is where the groundhog emerges from its hole and shows us, you know, are we gonna have 6 more weeks of winter, or are we gonna see spring, right? So, let's read another story. But this one doesn't quite go the way that we know it. Okay, so Groundhog comes up. Groundhog's like, oh, I see my shadow. 6 more weeks of winter. Groundhog doesn't see a shadow. That means spring is coming. Great, right? But what happens when the groundhog takes a day off? We're going to find out in Groundhog's Day Off by Rob Perlman, illustrated by Brett Hellquist. This book is published by Bloomsbury, which has offices all around the world. Every year, on one special day in February, Groundhog wakes up extra early. Crowds of people gather outside, locals, tourists, even the mayor. News reporters with large microphones and big shiny teeth are waiting. Every year, they ask the groundhog the same things. Are there going to be 6 more weeks of winter? Is spring around the corner? Bring on spring. We want the sun. Man, they just want to know, what is the weather going to be like? But one thing they never ask the groundhog about is him. No, how are you feeling? No, have you seen any good movies lately? No, do you like mushrooms on your pizza? Not even, who does your fur? Groundhog has more to offer than the forecast. But that's what happens year after year. You know what? Groundhog is fed up. Well, not this year. I told you. He writes a letter. Dear people, I am a groundhog with feelings and things to say. But all you care about is the weather. So this year, I'm going on vacation. You'll have to find someone new. Sincerely, Groundhog. P.S. I'm taking my shadow with me. Wow. Groundhog is serious. So Groundhog packs his robe, his slippers, his magazines, and shadow and headed for the spa. I bet you want to go to the spa right now, huh? The townspeople didn't know what to do. The mayor thought long and hard and finally announced, we'll hold auditions for a new groundhog. Lots of animals wanted to try out for the role. That's a lot of animals trying to be the new groundhog. Elephant was just too big. Ostrich got the whole thing backward. No, you don't stick your head in there, ostrich. Monkey was asked to leave after an unfortunate banana cream pie incident. Bats, owls, moles, and possum schedules, you know what? They just didn't work out. You know why? Because they're hibernating. No, actually, no, they're not even hibernating. I'm sorry. They're night owls. So, like, these auditions were happening during the day. Poor Puppy suffered from stage fright. And Sheldon, well, his shadow just wouldn't behave. This is terrible, the mayor cried. There's only one animal right for this job. Poor Mrs. Mayor. Groundhog had been relaxing when he heard a news report. Nobody has Groundhog's flair for the dramatic. Nobody can wake up as early as he does. No one, the mayor said, pausing, is as special as Groundhog. Well, these are the words that Groundhog needed to hear, right? Groundhog couldn't believe his ears. They do think of me as more than just a weather vane. And with that, he threw on a towel and whistled for a taxi. Take me home. Groundhog tunneled under the stage and popped out of his hole. Ta-da! The audience stood and cheered. Hurrah! The reporters asked Groundhog all the questions he had always hoped they would ask. Oh, where did you go on vacation? Which team are you rooting for in the playoffs? Do you prefer chunky or smooth peanut butter? Hey, is that your real fur? Wow, Groundhog. Will you do this for real tomorrow? But Groundhog stopped signing autographs. Tomorrow, he said. The reporters nodded. Tomorrow is Groundhog Day! You came back just in time. Well then, no time to talk. I have to go to bed early because he has to get up pretty early to give people that forecast they need. The next morning, Groundhog woke up extra early. He poured himself a cup of warm mint tea and peeked out of his hole. And this time, the reporters asked him about much more than the weather. What would we do without you? Oh, we just don't ever want to find out, do we? Bagels or donuts? What would you do for $1,000,000? Seriously, is that real fur? Well, groundhog is really popular. They love them some groundhog. You like me. You really like me, Groundhog said with a huge smile. He finally felt like everyone cared about him. He was very happy. That is, until he climbed back into his hole. Turned on the television. Look at who's quitting next, y'all. I'm gonna put it closer for you to see. And saw that the bunny had hopped away. Auditions would be held in the spring. But you know what? Look at that. They went on vacation together. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed Groundhog's Day Off by Rob Perlman, illustrated by Brett Hellhoist. Well, let's do another song. We have this song called Shadow Time, and it's to the tune of the Itsy Bitsy Spider. So we're not going to be doing that. So I think what I might do is I might use our wonderful groundhog puppet, which some of you may have, so you can do this along with me. Okay. And it's called Shadow Time. Okay. So the little furry groundhog goes in his hole to sleep through the cold winter snow and ice so deep. In February, he stretches to and fro. Will the furry little groundhog get scared by his shadow? Oh. I guess we're going to find out in a few days, right? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that and enjoyed seeing our fun groundhog puppet. And without further ado, how about we go to our next book? This one is called Grumpy Groundhog and is by Maureen Wright, illustrated by Amanda Haley. This book is published by Two Lions. The mayor stood before Groundhog's door and heard a rumbly-tumbly snore. Groundhog, he said, you're sleeping late. There is no time to hibernate. The people added with a shout, it's Groundhog Day. Please come out. The mayor pleaded, I'll ask once more. Won't you please open up this door? Please come out and greet your friends. Groundhog Day is here again. I won't come out, the groundhog said. I'm closing my eyes and staying in bed. I have an idea, said a boy in the crowd. He stepped to the front and spoke up loud. Give him a paper to read in bed. That's it, said the mayor, nodding his head. Groundhog opened his sleepy eyes. The morning Times was a nice surprise. The groundhog took a very long time reading the paper line by line. Wow, that would take a long time. The people in the town said with a shout, "It's Groundhog Day! Please come out! Come out now! We want spring!" Wake up, it's Groundhog Day. The mayor dropped to his knobby knees and begged the groundhog, "Come out, please." "I won't come out," the groundhog said. "I'm staying in here until I'm fed." Okay, well, at least we're getting a little closer. He wanted to read, he wanted to be fed. So what did they do? "I know what to do," a little girl said. "Give the groundhog breakfast in bed." They served him food on a fancy tray, coffee and toast, and a flower bouquet. Mm-mm-mm. We gotta get that groundhog fed because it's Groundhog Day, and I want to know: is it 6 more weeks of winter? Groundhog poured coffee from the pot. "This coffee is so good. It's nice and hot. Mm-mm-mm. Good to the last drop." The people in the town said with a shout, "It's Groundhog Day! Please come out!" "I won't come out," the groundhog said. "It's nice and warm in my cozy bed." Well, I think they made it just a little too comfortable for our wonderful groundhog friend. A girl yelled, "Get him slippers to wear! His bedroom floor is chilly in there." "Of course," said the mayor. "Find him a pair. His little tootsies are cold and bare." You know what? I understand that completely. Groundhog had never had slippers before. He did a jig all the way to the door. He twirled and shouted, "Look at me! I'll step outside on the count of 3." Okay, guys, you guys ready to count down with me? All right, we're doing this. 1, 2, 3, come out! Ta-da! He said, looking about. He blinked from the lights and the camera's glare. A child said, "Give him sunglasses to wear." Man, these kids are very accommodating. "Hooray," said the mayor. "No shadow today. The chilly weather is going away." The groundhog said, "It's a wonderful day. I'll ask the children if they want to play." "Let's make a snowman," the children cried. Groundhog had fun being outside. They made a snowman round and fat. It looked very nice in the mayor's hat. At the end of the day, the groundhog said, "It's time for me to go back to bed. I had a fun day with all my friends. When spring comes early, I'll see them again." Wow. That was a really fun one. I hope you guys enjoyed Grumpy Groundhog by Maureen Wright. Finally, we have one more song, and this one's gonna be a stand-up song. So here we go. Oh no, we don't actually have to stand up for this one. I'm gonna use the groundhog puppet. You guys are good, but you can sing along if you'd like to. And here we go. I'm a little groundhog. It's my day. Wake and stretch and go out and play. Down in my burrow, down so deep. Time to wake from my long winter sleep. I'm a little I'm a little groundhog, short and stout. February 2nd, I will come out. If I see my shadow, they will shout. 6 more weeks, more winter without a doubt. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Okay, so we have one more story, and then Miss Magda has to let you go because Miss Magda has plans for this Saturday. She can't be here with you, all day. So here we go. Our next title and our last one is "Who Will See Their Shadows This Year?" This is by Jerry Pallotta and David Beardedzicki. I hope I said that right. It is February 2nd. The animals are tired of winter. Look at their faces. They really are tired of winter. I feel like you guys are probably tired at this point of winter as well. If the groundhog casts a shadow, it means 6 more weeks of winter. But why should the groundhog always be famous? What about us? Let me try that my shadow, said the chicken. Well, oops, it causes a rainstorm. Ooh. The polar bear tried its shadow. Its huge shadow causes a blizzard. No, we don't want that. The camel tries. Its shadow causes a sandstorm. Well, the dog tries his shadow, or its shadow, sorry. Oh, wow! It gets foggy. Will the pig shadow work? Will it? What do you guys think will happen with the pig shadow? Oink! It's a hurricane! When the buffalo shows its shadow, it sleeps. Oh, it's not working out for these other animals, huh? The animals are getting frustrated. How can we bring spring? What about a panda shadow? Uh-oh. I feel like you guys should have learned your lessons by now. Ping, ping, ping! It starts to hail. Ugh. Try a koala shadow. Guys, come on. Gale force winds. Still no spring. Maybe the butterfly's shadow will work. Hot. Ooh, sweaty. Muggy. Not ideal. Okay, the ring-tailed lemur swings in to show his shadow. Surely it must work. I like to move it, move it. It gets misty like in a rainforest. Ooh, what about a peacock? A peacock shadow might bring spring. Wow, it's a tornado. Not happening. The noise awakens the groundhog. Who dares wake me up? The groundhog looks. There's no shadow. It's spring! It's spring! Winter is over. Happy Groundhog Day. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed our story times for today. And just to recap, here are the stories that we read today. We have Brownie Groundhog and the February Fox by Susan Blackaby, illustrated by Carmen Sequoia. Groundhog's Day Off by Rob Perlman, illustrated by Brett Helquist. Grumpy Groundhog. Oh, books are falling. Here we go. By Maureen Wright, illustrated by Amanda Haley. And finally, Who Will See Their Shadows this year? By Jerry Pallotta, illustrated by David by Jerzik. I think I said it right finally. All right, thank you so much. And let's say our goodbye song, and then I'm going to let you go, okay? So, we wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. With our friends at story time, we wave goodbye like this. Goodbye. See ya.